Hi, I'm Rich Marinucci, the Fire Chief with the Northville Township, Michigan Fire Department. I'm here today to talk to some experts about some techniques that can be used to retrofit existing fire apparatus to improve the rear markings and visibility for firefighters working on the highways. Currently, there are no standards that apply to existing fire apparatus with respect to rear markings for increased visibility. However, NFPA 1901, the standard for automotive fire apparatus, does require markings on new apparatus. We can use the guidelines that are presented in this standard to help us improve the visibility on existing apparatus and improve the safety of our firefighters when working on the highway. In the interest of firefighter safety, it makes sense to retrofit your existing apparatus to meet the requirements of 1901. You'll be surprised to find how inexpensive it is to retrofit your apparatus and improve the rear markings. The small investment that you make will greatly improve the safety of firefighters and other responders while they're working on the highway. We have identified some techniques to add retroreflective striping to the rear of existing fire apparatus. We're going to show you those in a minute. But first, let's take a look at some of the basic concepts of clear, highly visible rear markings and how they can make a difference.
Three basic high visibility design principles have emerged to guide marking of emergency vehicles. We can see those simple principles demonstrated on police cruisers. 1. Retroreflective striping and lettering reflects light from the headlights of approaching vehicles back to the driver's eyes, thereby improving the visibility of the emergency vehicle. 2. Chevrons have been shown to increase the visibility of vehicles at a greater distance and decrease the chance of a rear-end accident. The NFPA 1901 standard for new fire apparatus requires a minimum 50% rear coverage with chevron pattern striping, 6 inches wide, sloping downward at a 45-degree angle from the center line of the vehicle. Large, bold lettering rather than complicated logos or small type is more effective for rear visibility and identification.
Now that we understand how fairly simple changes can have a dramatic positive impact on rear visibility, let's turn our attention to techniques specifically for fire apparatus. With me is Jay Feinberg of FirehouseDecalsandMore.com. Welcome, Jay.
Thank you, Rich.
Jay has developed diamonds. He's going to talk to us about adding retroreflective striping to the rear of fire apparatus. Jay, what kind of materials are available to meet today's standard?
There are a wide variety of materials available from a number of manufacturers that will both work on the smooth surface and diamond plate. The important thing to remember is that the colors that are approved by the NFPA include red, fluorescent lime, fluorescent yellow, and yellow. In the cases where there isn't sufficient amount of smooth surface that can have reflective striping put on it, where we're using 6-inch goods to satisfy that requirement, we need to have another piece of technology which is called diamonds, whereby we apply the same material in the shape of a diamond to satisfy the requirement. And in this particular case, with our install process, we're able to take these diamonds and carefully lay them into the surface area of the diamond plate, thereby achieving what we're looking to do in terms of reflective striping. Once it's applied, then we can go ahead and remove the transfer film, and we see how easily we can put these diamonds right into the surface and then repeat that every 6 rows.
Jay, tell me where fire departments get this done. Do they do it in-house or do they send it to a factory?
They can go both ways, Rich. They can either do it in-house with materials that we can supply to them, or they can get from their local apparatus equipment supplier, or they can choose to go to an apparatus service center and have the same materials applied to them. A lot of it depends on the availability of manpower to take care of the project.
These are tough economic times. How cost effective is this? Are departments going to be able to afford this?
Well, it's hard to put a price on firefighter safety, but in this particular case, it represents a relatively small investment for that enhanced safety. Obviously, it's less expensive if we supply you with the materials and you use your own labor to apply them, and of course it becomes slightly more expensive if you have to send the apparatus out to do it. It's hard to put a real number on what it costs to do it, because a lot depends on which material you choose and how much surface area has to be covered.
Well, thanks, Jay, for some very good information, very innovative and a good way for fire departments to meet the standard.
Thank you, Rich. It was a pleasure being with you.
I'm with Dave Wayand of DNS Custom Coverage. Dave, thanks for taking time to be with us today. You do a lot of work with covers and for the fire trucks. This is a plain cover. Can you tell me about this, what it's made of, how it's fastened, etc.?
Sure. This is a rear flap of a truck. This particular flap is made of either Herculite or Hypalon type of material. It is hemmed around the perimeter of it, usually a 2-inch hem, fastened permanently at the top. At the rear it's weighted so it does not move. This basic cover, you gain no visibility at the back or very limited. Whenever you come upon this truck at the scene or in its travels, you're not gaining any value from looking at the rear of the truck and could easily be missed.
Well, let's go look at a truck right now that has reflective material on the cover and see how much it improves the visibility. Now we're going to look at a hose bed cover that makes a difference, that really enhances the rear of the apparatus and makes it more visible. Dave, can you tell us what's the difference between this and a typical hose bed cover?
Okay. This hose bed cover here is utilizing reflective material on the tail flap. It's a high quality material. It's manufactured by Reflexite Reflective. And we've incorporated that into the tail flap. The flap here has the reflective material sewn onto the tarp, and then there's an additional piece of material put behind to protect the rear of it for a long-lasting cover.
Well, how much does it enhance it? I mean, can you tell me how much does it improve visibility from the rear?
Well, I think it improves it significantly. I would say at least 30 to 40% improvement. When you do a nighttime visibility on it, like with a camera flash, it brightens up the back of the truck significantly.
So it would vary on the type of apparatus. That's why it's custom.
Right.
Everyone's a little bit different.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Every hose bed is one's deeper. You'd have more visibility. One's more shallow, not quite as much. But even so, it still adds to the visibility of the back of the truck.
Well, Dave, I thank you for your interest in firefighter safety. I think you've done a great job and just another tool for us to help us do our job better out in the field.
Thank you.